for today's cup of coffee with Scream. And hopefully, I am so sorry that the audio was so horrible on the previous cup.
Ballpark announcer.
And it's like, my God, I don't know what happened, but it's like, if I had had any energy left, we would have redone that one.
Yeah.
Because I went to edit and I'm like, oh my God, this is just ridiculous. What the hell happened? And I have no excuses. I have no understanding of what happened, really.
I mean, it could have just been something as simple as the mic being a little too far away or something. Because a snowball, after, seriously, if it's so far away from your face, it really does do weird. And it's not good audio if it's too far away.
Well, what it is with it, it's if your face is not pointed, if your mouth is not pointed directly at these snowballs, then it's when you get some of that weird stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I never did take that other mic down there today.
It's okay. Tomorrow's another day, Lord willing.
Yeah, Lord willing.
But it's the planetary alignment and the fatigue and the antibiotic and the fatigue
and the I'm gonna call it a retrospection.
Okay.
Because that's the energies and shit like that. Basically having to feel those again.
Life review.
Yeah, doing a whole fucking life review, and it's like, well, I more than likely screwed myself over, so
No, and it's where when something like this happens, and we're getting ready to go into eclipse season and different things like that, and all kinds of weird. Well,
it's like it's not only just as far as real life screw myself over. I feel like I've screwed myself over spiritually in a lot of ways. So
yeah, but you're looking at it with human eyes.
Yeah.
God doesn't look at it with human eyes, and so that's where you have to sort of.
Yeah, I got choked on air. I got choked on nothing. That wasn't fair. You know what? It's okay.
On some of this stuff, you've got to ask God to allow you to see some of these things through His eyes, not your own.
Lord Jesus Christ, can you show me through your eyes as far as this stuff, please? Please.
I mean, it just to look at where you were versus where you are today, which will be different than where you are in the future.
Well, that's like me when we were out on the porch smoking and telling you, it's like the journey fucking, it's been a rough go,
mm-hmm.
but I'm grateful for it, and I'm grateful for the lessons, and I've tried, I'm grateful for what I know now.
Right.
And I'm grateful to even have some, level of semi-maturity at this point.
Right. And that is a lot of times achieved through adversity. And we see some of these people and it's hard when you see somebody that has never truly gone through adversity and they're whining and crying and bitching and moaning, and it's hard to have compassion.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting there going, you're whining and crying and bitching and moaning over basically nothing. But in their world, it's a something. It's just that they don't have a true basis of comparison.
That is true. Yeah.
And
very true.
It's just like some of these government employees that have had a free ride for a very long time on taxpayer monies.
It's not only the government people, it's like people in the entertainment industry, the gaming industry, stuff like that. They're getting a huge wake-up call now.
Well, some of us have gone through this stuff. Look, I mean, my God, a lot of people that have been in the private sector have gone through periods of time downsizing. That's a reality.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's ever worked for a company, anybody who ever was around here back when NAFTA came in and all the jobs left, when you had factories that closed and there really wasn't anything else.
Yeah.
It still isn't.
I mean, other than if you want to work in a grocery store, there's plenty of jobs there, but those are pretty much dead-end jobs.
Yep. And people have a tendency to, they praise the dead. I don't know why. But people will do that. They will elevate somebody that's died to, godhood. I do not do that.
Yeah, no.
And one of the ones was Rush Limbaugh. Because at the time, and I used to be a listener of his religiously. And I was in radio then, and one of the guys that was in radio with me at the tiny AM station, and he was same political, ideology and stuff like that. But when Rush kept going on about, oh yeah, NAFTA is going to be a wonderful thing, I have not forgotten that. Mm-mm. And to sit there and go, oh, we're going to be, instead of producing things, we're going to, I can't remember exactly what they called it. It wasn't hospitality or some shit like that. And I'm thinking, even then, to sit there and go, okay, if you are not producing things, you're dependent on other people. If you can't produce things, how the hell are you going to buy things?
Right. I mean,
and so it happened, which was, it wasn't that hard to figure out.
Mm-mm. And we have been struggling since.
Absolutely.
I'm wondering if Trump is going to fix that, though.
Well, supposedly, as far as bringing back, what they did with that was that they gave some of the other nations, labor was cheaper, different things like that. There were incentives of why manufacturers would take their businesses and their jobs to other countries.
Right.
And then as far as they would put, that's where people don't understand about tariffs and stuff. That there is, if something is manufactured outside of a country, that there is a tariff put on it which increases the price. That's just like, all right, the candies and stuff from Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
The big monies.
Big monies because it's got an import tariff on it.
$16 for a bag of gummies.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
Yeah. And so something like that, it's like, that's crazy. Now, that's between different nations, and that's big brain stuff. But would people here buy more items from Japan if they were more affordable? Yes.
Very much so. Because I hate having to go to places like FYE, Spencer's, Hot Topic, or even the Asian market,
right,
just to get certain items.
And it's
or on Amazon, which is like,
exactly. It's
shit.
still got import tariffs and taxes and different things like that.
Yeah.
It makes it just, it puts it out of the price range of a lot of people.
It does.
And so hopefully some of the manufacturers have said that, yes, they are going to come back to America and to actually do things.
Bring the Kasugi candy. Bring those factories over here to America, please. I don't want to pay $16 for a bag of strawberry gummies.
Right. I mean, even on something like that, there's different... I mean, it's very complex. Our society is actually remarkably complex. Not just our society, everybody else's society.
Yeah.
But when you grow up in a area that is manufacturing based, mm-hmm, and that is taken from you, and to hear these people in Washington, D.C. and up around Washington, D.C. that area, which ruins Virginia totally. It might as well be a totally different planet than where we are.
Yeah.
That they're whining and crying that they have to actually get off of their ass and go into an office. Don't expect me to have that much empathy for you.
No.
Some of us that would get up at 4:00 in the morning to go into work. Mm-hmm. Some of us that...
Well, you also had a job that most people do not gravitate to. So, like...
Well...
I mean, it was mandatory. It was required.
Yeah,
for you
I
to
mean,
go in
that's
at those
part.
hours. If I'm thinking of the
As far
the
as
jail.
radio, I mean, I would have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to the radio station.
I was thinking about the time that you worked at the jail and stuff like
Oh,
that.
well, that was a matter of I worked night shift.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those that if I wanted that job, I had to be willing to fulfill the requirements.
Or it's even like working in a thrift store or grocery store. If they ask you to come in at 7 o'clock, you go in at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, you don't have to work there. But somebody to sit there and go, oh, well, my dog has had me at home for 5 years, and now the dog will be sad.
Oh, well. Oh, well. It will get used to it. It will learn and it will adapt.
Those of us that had children that we had to try to make, different things to deal with the children's. Now, with you, where you had health issues, I was home with you for 3 years.
Yeah.
Because there was chronic sickness and stuff. And what happened? Our government penalized me. Yeah. Because I did one of the hardest and most important jobs anybody can do, which is raising other humans.
And that's, no joke, that is a job in of itself.
Sure it is.
So, our government has had so many things that go against the people.
Yes.
That go against us for so long, purposefully.
Yeah. But that's also one of those that it's like doing that life review. I think that it's a matter of doing a nation's life review.
It should be.
And when you've got some of these people that they have absolutely no basis of comparison again, they don't know history, they don't know how we got from point A to point B. And it's like, don't ask stupid people for advice. That, or if you do, you get what you get.
And you don't ask questions that you already know the answer to.
Well, so, but people's like, oh, why are people upset with us? Because you're a stupid person.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you want to remain a stupid person. So,
yeah, I got experience with that.
Well, it just has been a wake up and a reality call for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. And it's not easy, but learning shit like that, learning hard life lessons, it's never easy.
Right.
Or else it wouldn't be hard.
Right. But for some of these people that they're doing this shit about, when some of these other people lost their jobs. Like when they had shut down the pipeline and there were thousands of people that and they're like, oh, well, learn to code.
Well, no joke. That's what they're doing.
And so some of those people right now are wanting empathy from the rest of us? No.
Algebra. Like dead ass. That is one reason why they're teaching these kids this horrible fucking math shit in school and have been teaching them for so long, like trigonometry, algebra, shit like that, is to prepare them for coding. To basically have them be tech people.
I don't even know that that's required at this point.
Shit. We don't got anyone else to...
There's
do the
always things.
computers.
People are not, you learn to see differently. Again, with the Mike Rowe, he has got a thing, scholarships where people can go and learn to do actual stuff.
Well, what I'm saying as far as the coding, like that's what they want them to do. They want them to sit there and work on computer shit rather than actually doing real life skills, real life artisan jobs.
Well, that's up to the individual whether they fall into that trap or not.
Like they were talking about, like you can't find, like cobblers are almost nil at this point.
Well, you apprenticeship. Find somebody somewhere that's doing that.
But mama, this is the thing. Because they're so few and far between, you would have to, sometimes people have to travel overseas to learn.
Yes.
And that's just not a possibility for some people.
Well, this is the thing that And this is the problem that I have with, and I'm not saying you specifically, but since you're doing a typical thing of Gen Z, and I've heard millennials do this also, to sit there and you can offer them a table full of options, and they'll sit there and they'll look at it and they'll sort of snarl their nose up and go, yeah, but.
Okay, let's use this as an example. Family duties. Okay, if they have to stay there and take care of family members and stuff like that, but if they want to get a skill or a trade, and that requires them to go overseas for an extended period of time, and something happens to that family member, what happens then?
That is life. That is life, and it is filled with really tough choices.
It is.
You know, and it's not like this is new. People have always had to make tough choices in life.
Mm-hmm. But then people look at them and be like, oh, but you should have been here. You should have been here. You should have been doing stuff. You should have been taking care of your responsibilities rather than doing whatever fuckery over there.
It does not matter what anybody does. You're always going to have somebody that's going to second guess you or armchair quarterback your life.
That's true.
And that's the voice of Satan. That is how that rolls. So it's like to do. We need carpenters. We need plumbers. We need electricians. These are things, if you sit and you look at some of these skills that have been around sometimes for thousands of years.
Yeah. We need people to actually make, the artisans that make furniture, that make clothing, hand-make clothing. Uh-huh. And that's the thing as far as the NAFTA shit. Before they pulled the NAFTA bullshit, all that, honestly, it seemed like stuff that we would buy over here was of a much higher quality.
Absolutely. Yes. It certainly was.
Because I think that was a thing of America at the time, that they took pride in what they made.
Yes. And then after a point in time, they no longer took pride in what they did. Mm-hmm. And you did start getting some shoddy everything. Okay, if the consumer is going to buy something and to sit there and go, okay, this is American made, but the quality is not as good as this product that has been made in this other nation, guess what? People are going to buy the other thing. That's the whole point about the free market.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one thing that, people even though Japan has their major downsides, you can see where they take a lot of pride in their products.
Yes.
Like stemming from the candy to toys to furniture, stuff like that.
Yes.
They take a lot of pride. And even as far as like the shipping companies down there, they're very on time.
Mm-hmm. That is part of their culture.
They will even like assemble furniture in your apartment over there.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a matter, you're going to have different cultures have different ways of doing things. And that's where, as far as to look at it and go, wow, this is really cool. Let's see if we can, put some of that into our culture. That's really something we don't want. Let's not put that into our culture.
Yeah.
To learn from each other.
Well, that's the main thing, and that's really what is frustrating me. It's like, of just observing humanity in general. It's like they want to focus on all the negative shit rather than take and learn from the positives and stuff like that.
Yes.
It's frustrating to watch.
Well, I don't know. There's, I think a lot of that does have to do with the point in time that humanity is. Mm-hmm. If we go back in history, look at different points in time, and this a lot of times is cultural. Where was this society at this point in time? What were they doing? And,
Right, and you can really see the downfall of American society in a lot of ways, You can see that decline.
Uh-huh.
But hopefully it's now is it the incline?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's on the incline, even though it's at the low point right now, but we're still on that upward trajectory.
Right. Well, when you get away from the basis of this nation, which it was as far as a Christian-based nation,
Mm-hmm.
and within that you had God, you had family, community, different things like that. And when we got away from that, and that goes into as far as the communism and Marxism, which is atheist and all this bunch of stuff, and you have people that they want, I can't remember what that one dude's name that was over in the UK, and he's like, he wasn't Christian, he didn't want to be Christian, but he wanted to live in a society that was Christian. And it's like, okay, so you don't want to do the work, but you want to reap the benefits.
Exactly. That's what it is. He does not want to. And in a lot of ways, that is laziness, too.
Sure it is. It is. So
it's just...
that's... But when you allow different factions in, that is going to separate and divide and all this different stuff like that, this is what happens.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can see it.
And I mean, even within our little region, and it's interesting because, and you know, some of the people that are from California are really interesting, and I think it's not like I have a large sample size, but a lot of the ones are doing, you know, social media, and they produce content. And it amazes me that it's almost like no matter where they go, they take that California with them.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not understanding.
Mm-mm.
If you want California, stay in California.
Exactly.
If you go someplace else and you're trying to transform it into California, no, you're doing a disservice to that area.
Mm-hmm. You're not even willing to take the time to learn about their culture, to learn
Exactly.
how they speak to each other, to learn how to just vibe with those people.
Right. Right. Now, there have, that one gentleman, I think that he worked for, I don't know, one of the delivery, UPS, FedEx, one of those places like that. And he had moved within our region, and he was funny. He's like, I'm originally from California, but, and he was cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wanted to do and be like people here.
Yeah.
And as such, he was welcomed here.
Mm-hmm. We have people from other nations that have come over here, and they really enjoy it.
Yeah, we don't have a problem with them.
And they want to be a part of it.
We don't have a problem with the people from other nations as much as we have with Californians.
Those Californians.
I mean,
I
it's
swear.
just like that kid that's from Somalia. I love him.
Yeah.
He's a good kid.
He is.
You know, and it's like, I do hope that that group of people are here legally. I do.
That's the concern that I have. It's like, are you here? That's the only thing about it. It's
right.
like, are you here legally?
That's it. Other than that, I mean, we will, if somebody wants to come here
Are you doing
and be part of our community and stuff like that, if they treat us good, we'll treat you good. If you start trying to, it's like, oh no, you're one of the ignorant, unwashed masses, we will show you the door.
Mm-hmm. But I also have questions as far as like, okay, are you here legally? Are you also somehow doing like illegal activities under the guise of whatever company that you're doing here?
That is not ours. Yeah, I know.
Like, I'm not like being like, oh yeah, that's what they're doing, you know? I'm not doing that shit. It's just a question that I have.
Yeah, well, that's somebody else's in law enforcement. That's theirs to figure out.
Yeah.
I'm on my own business. We have enough people that's doing illegal activity that is homegrown.
That's true.
You have to worry about them.
Yeah.
So.
It's like, fuck, in our area you have to worry about that shit.
Sure. And it's like, I don't know how in the hell we got down this rabbit hole, because this was not, I was going to talk about reptilians. I was going to talk about the reptilians.
Well, we were talking about NAFTA and all that shit, and then we started...
You did that. You started that, but it's okay.
I don't think I... Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. And that may be part of the problem, is that we may have the aliens amongst us. Actual aliens. What if they were here before we were?
There's been question about that.
Yeah.
The
Very much
mantis
so.
people.
Yeah. Anyhow, we're supposed to have this parade of planets coming up on the 28th, and I think we've also got some kind of blood moon on that. I was listening to, I can't remember, it wasn't Stephon Burns, it was one of the other people that was talking about that. It's like, I'm just trying to heal.
Literally.
I was sicker than I realized I was. It was weird.
Whatever the sick was, it's rough.
Yeah. So, everybody's having paranormal and supernatural. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, pray one for another.
Yep, yep, yep.
You want to tell them where we can be found?
You can find us on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Rolanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter. Rolanda, COCWS.
I hope to God that the audio's better on this one.
Mm-hmm.
It was, like I said, that's... If I had it in me to re-record the other one, I would have. Because I'm thinking it's just bad quality. Bad quality. But...
I mean, it was... Trust, I've heard way worse.
I don't care. I try to take pride in what I do.
You do. You do take pride in it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, that little thing, compared to the people that doing dank mic...
Yeah, but they do that on purpose, don't they?
No.
Oh,
Some of them don't.
Okay. God love them. They just have no idea about the settings.
They have no idea what they're doing.
It's
as far as any of it. Or they just don't care. They're like, oh yeah, this is good enough.
See, that's not, No, that's part of ours is that whatever we do is supposed to be to the best of our ability, as if we were doing it for the Lord himself. That's part of our belief system.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you tell them where we are?
Yes,
Okay.
I did.
See, it's still the brain fog. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's the sound of my soul. Know that you are loved. Treat other people the way you would like to be treated. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.